Welcome to another On Deck Baseball tutorial video. Today we're going to be discussing situation charts, injuries, suspensions, all those little rare plays that happen in baseball that kind of make everything a little bit fun and exciting. So I have my batter for the offensive team, which is Logan Bennett of the Comets, and I have some fielders. The fielding team is the Phantoms, and I have all the fielders available should any of the plays reach them. I do have my situation charts. As you'll notice, there is one for every position as well as one for the batter. Those are in there. I also have the bunt chart there, which I have a tutorial video for as well. Here we have our situation matrix, injury grade charts, and suspension chart. This is going to be the situation matrix that we will read off of to find out which situation chart we'll be using. So we're going to start off the little video assuming that what we have reached is an outcome on this particular card. A blue 4 and a red 10 will mean the asterisk. So if you see this asterisk, that means that a special situation has arisen in the game, and we need to find out what that is. So in order to complete that play, we're going to go ahead and take our 2 D10, 1 red and 1 blue, and we're going to go ahead and roll on the situation matrix here. I'm going to find out what our result is and then play off of that. So we have a 5-3, that is a red 5 and a blue 3, and that is off of the batter. Pretty convenient. We have the batter's card right on top. Now, as you'll notice, the situation charts are front and back. You'll roll 1 D10, so you'll have results for 1 through 5 on the front and results for 1 through 6 on the back. We're going to go ahead and roll 1 die and find out what our result is. So we have a 7. And we'll go ahead and do a quick read. Right off the bat, you'll notice that the grade column has a 4 in it, so that means that a possible injury might occur. Weak ground ball hit down third baseline. Third baseman charges and makes routine play to first as the batter falls to the ground almost as reaching first base. Trainer escorts batter off of the field, and tests show a grade 3 tear of the patellar tendon, his knee. All runners advance 1 base. We are assuming that we don't have anybody on base, so we don't have to worry about any runners advancing, but we are going to look into the injury. So if you play on the pro level, we're just going to go straight to the checking the injury on the injury grade charts for a grade injury of 4. However, if you're playing in the All-Star, to add a little bit more variety to the game, we would have a check legs of a -4. So that means that the injury might not occur depending on his trait or a rating for his health. So we're going to check legs, which is a -4, against a 4, that his rating. Now, similar to the pitcher-batter confrontation, 6 or above is a positive result, meaning that he won't suffer the injury. A 5 or below, and he will suffer the injury. So it's a -4 against a 4, which is no outcome. It's a 0. So the roll is as standing when it rolls. So we have a 1. That means that the injury would occur. So for a grade 4, we're going to check our grade chart, which is right here, and we're going to check that against Logan Bennett's recovery, which is a 1. So recovery lines are right here. The 1 is obviously the worst you can have, so we're going to roll 1 D10 on a grade 4 injury and see how many games he is out. So we roll a 2. That means he is out for 15 games. So we're going to take our injury tracker here. And what I would do is write in the player's name. Excuse the terrible handwriting. I also put in the team that he plays for. He is out for 15 games on the DL. Now we're also going to look at the injury for specific areas of the body and whether or not he needs additional recovery time when he comes back from his 15 games. You'll notice that off of the result, remember we had a 7, the grade was 4. So his left-handed ability against left-handed pitchers and against right-handed pitchers will not suffer or need any more additional recovery time. However, because it is a leg injury, his speed will suffer a -1 for 20 games. So we don't have any recovery time needed additionally for batting. However, speed is going to be a -1 for an additional 20 games. His fielding will also suffer, especially since he is an outfielder, so obviously getting around is important out there, and it's going to be a -1 for 20 games as well. Now, as you go through, you can either do it by days out or you can do it by games. If you do it by days out, obviously you're accounting for days off. If you're doing it by games, you would just count for games. And what I mean by that is every game that passes, you're going to mark off a box. That means he's been out for one game or one day. And you would do that throughout the schedule until he reaches 15. Eventually, when he does reach 15, he comes back, he's available to play. However, for another 20 games, he's going to be a -1 on his speed and a -1 on his fielding. So that will affect his gameplay for the rest of the year, which could affect offensive stats as well as run production for your team. So that was one special situation right off of the batter. We're going to go ahead and see if we can do another. So again, we're going to assume that we received an asterisk result off of the batter's card. We're going to go ahead and roll. We have a 3-1 on the situation matrix, so it's a blue 3 and a red 1, which is a 3. The 3 is going to be the first baseman. All these numbers on here will equate to a position on the field, and a B will be the batter. So 1 is a pitcher, 2 catcher, 3 first base, 4 second base, 5 third base, 6 is a shortstop, 7 left fielder, 8 center fielder, and 9 is right field. So we have a special situation on the first baseman. We'll go ahead and get that chart. And we will roll our 1d10 to find out our result. We have a 1. Batter hits weak ground ball to first base. First baseman tries to complete the play to first with a barehanded grab. If first baseman's defense rating plus the roll plus the batter's speed rating is less than 6, the batter is out at first on a 3-1. So we're going to find our first baseman for that, which is Glenn. Glenn's defensive rating at his primary position of first base is a -2. So we're going to take our -2 and add that to the roll as well as the batter's speed. And if that result is less than 6, then the batter is out. So therefore, it gets a little bit easier with the higher defensive rating. And that is why we keep the negative number, and we try to keep that in the front of the equation just to make the addition a little bit easier. So we have a -2 plus a 4 plus the batter's speed, which is a 2. So it is a -2 plus a 4, which is 2, plus a 2, which is 4, which is less than 6, and that means that the batter is out on a 3-1. So that's the special situation. That was a hard play for the first baseman, but he was able to make it. Obviously, the speed comes into account for Logan Bennett, and if he was a higher speed of a 5, he might have had a better chance of making the play or making it to first base. So we'll go ahead and do one more. Again, we're assuming that we got the asterisk on the batter's card. We'll go ahead and roll our die. Excuse me. And we have a red 6 and a blue 5. Red 6 and a blue 5 equals a 5, which is the third baseman. We'll go ahead and find that chart. And we'll go ahead and roll our 1 die. We have an 8. We'll flip it over. And it looks like we're going to have another injury. Third base and shortstop collide going after an infield pop fly. If third baseman's defense rating plus the roll is less than 4, third baseman comes down with a spectacular catch. If the ball is not caught, a batter is credited with a single and all runners advance 1 base. On the play, the third baseman suffers an orbital fracture, a broken eye socket. So we're going to go ahead and find our third baseman, which is Anthony Hatfield. And we're going to read that again. Third baseman's defensive rating plus the roll is less than 4. So his defensive rating is a -5, which is really good defense. It's a 10. It only goes down to a 5. It is not less than 4. So that means that he did not come down with the catch. Logan Bennett reaches first base, and we're going to have to check for an injury. Again, if you're playing a pro version, you would go straight through the injury, but we are going to check on this particular case his durability, which is a -1 check, and we have a 3 on his durability, so it's a +2 on the roll. It is a 4, so that means he is injured. It is a grade 4 injury once again. We're going to check the grade, and his recovery is a 2. So we have a 1, That would be 14 games on him. So again, we would take our player and enter his information. He is on the Phantoms. This would be an injury for 14 games. And then we also have to look at any additional recovery time he'll need. And this one is going to affect his batting, which makes sense because he broke his eye socket. It is going to be a -1 against both the left-handed and right-handed pitchers for 5 games. So again, that means once he comes back from his 14 games, he'll need additional recovery time to kind of get back into the groove of 5 games. So that is our situation matrix and the rare plays, situational plays that can come into account. I will tell you that there is one result for an asterisk on every single batter. They come into play. I tried to make it so it would come into play once every 100 possibilities. There is one result on each pitcher card as well. So that is 1 for every 100 rolls, since the matrix for the pitchers and batters also go from 1 to 10 on each die. So that is the situational charts, rare plays, injury grades. There are suspensions in there. The suspensions are quite easy. You just roll on a suspension chart. It is just multiplied by 2 for each number on the die. So if you roll a 10, the player would be out for 20 games. So those are the rare plays. If you guys have any questions or comments about that, please leave them below and let me know how you're enjoying the game so far. Thanks.